Hey, I'm Kevin Lee. Let's go. This time last year, I put out a video about preparing for your first Spartan race, and it was a lengthy video, and to my surprise, it had over 100,000 views and it got a lot of feedback. It got quite a few likes and equally the same number of dislikes. I got a lot of feedback, a lot of comments from a lot of other viewers and YouTubers, and some were great and some were not so great. But all in all, I learned a lot from it. I wanted to take this time to create a new 2018 guide on preparing for your first Spartan Trifecta. And some of the information is still the same from the previous video, but I figure I'd try to crunch it down into a lot less time for you guys. So check out this video, and if you're new to this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button down there somewhere. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. All right, let's get started. So to preface, I want to say that you can sign up for a Spartan race, lace up, and just go. You can do it with no training whatsoever. You can do it with no prep. You can do it with the very minimal gear. You can wear regular old tennis shoes and still finish. Just like anything else, just like any other OCR, just like any 5K, half marathon, you absolutely can sign up and just do it with very minimal training, but you're going to hurt. For those who are absolute studs who can just sign up and just conquer any kind of athletic event or race and keep up doing what you're doing because you're obviously doing a good job. But for the rest of us who need some training, who need some prep, who need some guidance, this video is absolutely for you. So with that, I want to kind of outline what we're going to cover today. Number one, we're going to talk about how to prepare, the actual planning phase. Number two, we're going to talk about your training. Number three, we're going to talk about your nutrition and your supplementation. Number four, we're going to talk about your gear. And then finally, number five, what to do on race day. I'll even create shortcuts for you, so if you want to come back to this video and skip straight ahead to this one particular subject matter, like let's say the nutrition and supplementation part, I'll leave that shortcut in the description section below so you can just skip ahead. Okay, let's talk about the game plan part. So if you're new to Spartan Race, the first thing that I always tell anybody to do is go to Spartan.com and sign up for their newsletter. Before you even commit to doing any race, before you even sign up for one, it's always best to sign up for the newsletter because number one, they send you a lot of good information. You'll get stuff on training, you'll get stuff on nutrition, you'll get stuff on motivation and education and stuff like that. But more importantly, they'll send you information about upcoming races. They'll send you information on upcoming training events, and also they send you discount codes and stuff. So it only makes sense to sign up for the newsletter so that you can get those little perks from Spartan. The next thing I would suggest is signing up for your Trifecta Pass. You can absolutely sign up for individual races throughout the year, but if you add up how much it costs for each race, it's really a lot more for the races a la carte than it is to just sign up for a Trifecta Pass. The Trifecta Pass is your sprint, your super, and your beast all bundled up into a package. Now, you're not locked into any specific race. You actually choose which race you want to do. So if you want to do them in any particular order, like a sprint, super, beast, you can do it that way. Or if you want to do beast, super, sprint, you can do it that way as well. But the cool part is you just sign up for the Trifecta Pass. You can decide later if you want to do any of the particular races at any time. And the cool thing too is this Trifecta Pass will allow you to opt in for either the elite group, you can do the competitive group, or you can do the open group. It's up to you. Best bang for your buck, I guarantee it. Not only that, but your locker is also included. You get the VIP access to the locker, which is like $5, but I mean, it's still included. You're still saving money. And also you get a free spectator pass. So if you have family or friend that wants to come along and check it out, not necessarily participate, their spectator pass, which is valued at $25, it's included. So you can bring somebody to come check it out for absolutely free and save them some money at the same time. Now, this doesn't include your parking or your insurance, so keep that in mind. Parking is usually anywhere between $10 to $15, and then your insurance is, I want to say it's either $14 to $17. So when you sign up for your race, you're going to pay for your insurance one way or another, but just wanted you to know that when you sign up for your Trifecta Pass, to be prepared for those extra little costs, but you're saving your money no matter what you do. The next thing that you got to do is basically find your race, find the location, the date, the time, what heat you're going to do, whether you're going to do the elite or the competitive, which is now age group, or if you're going to do the open division. No matter what, it's the same race. If you're doing the elite, there are different rules. If you're doing the competitive, you have to make sure that you're in that specific time slot. Otherwise, you get disqualified. And if you're doing the open, it's pretty much everybody, and that's usually later in the day. My recommendation is to do it earlier in the day because it gets muddier and muddier and muddier. The obstacles get dirtier and dirtier and dirtier. So if you're doing the elite, you're basically jumping in on some really clean trails and clean obstacles, and it makes it easier to deal with it. But you're also going to be dealing with higher level competitors, and if you're really competitive, it starts to weigh on you if you're like getting just passed up by everybody. Now that you've signed up for the Trifecta and you're already looking at different races and different locations, times, and days, and looking for your partner, if you're going to get on any kind of training program specifically for an OCR, more specifically for Spartan, go and get yourself the Spartan Fit book by Joe DeSena. I think it's DeSena. Maybe it's DeSena? John Cena? It's Joe DeSena. Joe DeSena. Whatever. This is a great book. I picked up this book not too long ago, and I gotta say, this is a very, very thorough book, and it covers a lot of stuff in terms of your training, your nutrition. It even talks about the different obstacles. This version is a little bit outdated. There are newer obstacles out there from Spartan that this book does not cover, but the principles in the book are still the same. The thing I love most about this particular book is that it gives you a 30-day workout guide so that it prepares you for your big day. I think this is a great book for any beginner to get started with. I think it's a great book for anybody who's already pretty active and athletic. It really is a really good resource for getting you prepared for your next Spartan race. So, Spartan Fit by Joe DeSena. If you're curious, the link to this particular book is in the description section below. Last but not least, you want to give yourself plenty of time to prepare. So if you're a high-level athlete, you don't need as much time to prepare. If you're an absolute beginner, you gotta give yourself at least 12 weeks to prepare. So 1 to 12 weeks, depending on your level of fitness. If you're high level, you need a lot less time. If you're not so high level, like an absolute novice, and you haven't worked out in like 5 years, you probably want to give yourself at least 12 weeks to prepare. But 12 weeks is a good place to start. So now we're going to talk about training. So in my 17 years of being a fitness professional, a trainer, a coach, I've always started athletes out by actually assessing them. You can't really know where someone's going to be if you don't know where they started, right? So what I do for all my athletes who are preparing for OCRs, or even just preparing for something that's very rigorous, I take them through 4 different movements and I track them on all 4. And the first thing I track them on is their 1 mile run. So it could be done on a treadmill or it could be done on a track, wherever, but your goal here is to run a mile as fast as you physically can. For the elite level athlete, under 6 minutes for a mile is really, really good. The next thing I test them on is their dead hang. So find a bar and just hang. Just hang off of the ground. And you hang for as long as you physically can, but the benchmark, the target is 90 seconds. All you gotta do is just reach up and just hang for 90 seconds. That's it. Simple enough, right? The next thing I assess them on is 6 minutes of burpees. As many burpees as they can fit in 6 minutes. And your goal here is to complete 90 burpees in under 6 minutes. I know what you're thinking. If you're familiar with burpees, 90 burpees is a lot of burpees. In Spartan, when you fail an obstacle, you have 30 burpees for your penalty. So if you have trouble doing 30 burpees, imagine what you're gonna feel like doing 90 burpees. But that's my test. So 6 minutes of burpees, 90 burpees is the goal. And then last but not least, a very simple task, which is plank. Your goal here is to be able to hold a plank for 3 minutes. That's it. And if you fail, if you stop, you just record your time. And with that, what you want to do here is every single month, if you're training for 3 months to prepare for your race, every single month you want to actually go back and do this test again. Because you want to see that you're making progress. You want to see your training actually taking you somewhere. So track your mile, track your dead hang, track your burpees, and then track your plank. Just keep it in a journal. It doesn't have to be complex. If you don't know where to begin with your training, I'm going to say go out and just get this book. It's really awesome and it's not expensive at all. It's a really good resource and I used it myself and I love it. As a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna actually do it again because I just loved it. It was awesome. You need to run. And if there's any one important thing that I recommend for any of the athletes is to take the time to get comfortable with running. Learn your stride, figure out your style of running, figure out how you manage your pace, figure out what pains come about when you're running. Because you just don't want to find this stuff out the day of your race. You don't want to come and figure out that the type of shoes that you're wearing don't work for your running style. You don't want to find out that the gear that you're running in doesn't work for you that day. You want to be very familiar with running by the time that you actually run your race. I know this is a no-brainer. I know some of you are thinking, no duh, I gotta run. But when it comes to running, depending on what race I'm doing, there's a certain running regimen that I apply to my races. So if I'm doing the Spartan Sprint, then I train specifically for the Spartan Sprint. If I'm preparing for the Spartan Super, it's a longer distance, so I change my training schedule to fit the Spartan Super. And then if it's the Beast, I have a specific running schedule for the Beast. I'm not gonna go into detail into the actual running regimen. I'll probably just put a resource to that particular section below, so that way we can get into that, and if you have any questions, you can always ask. But yeah, for the Sprint, I have a specific running regimen. For the Super, I have a specific running regimen. And then for the Beast, I have a specific running regimen. If you don't care, just get out and just start running. Just start running for time. Start running for distance. Get into a regular schedule. Get into the habit of running. And I promise you, you'll generally do a lot better than those who don't run. Yeah. Basic movements. When it comes to basic movements, I keep it pretty simple. You gotta be able to pick up heavy stuff. So yeah, get familiar with picking up stuff, with pulling, with climbing, with rolling, with crawling, all that fun stuff. If you want an example, if you want an idea of what to do there, I'll put up a link right there. Right there, one of those two corners. So that way you can check out what I suggest in terms of foundational training. Okay, we'll talk about nutrition and supplementation. Now I'm gonna keep it really brief here because I'm not a registered dietitian or a nutritionist, but I do help people with their food. When it comes to food, I guess the best place to start is if you're doing these races specifically to kind of give you something to help you lose weight, which a lot of people do, I'm going to tell you don't starve yourself because it's not going to help you. If you're an athlete who wants to get really good at something like an OCR, don't starve yourself for the sake of losing weight. It's not going to help you. If anything, it's going to work against you. So feed yourself more, feed yourself the good stuff, feed yourself plenty of fuel that you're going to use to actually do more. So here's the deal. Better fuel, better results. So the better the fuel you put in your body, the better your results are going to be. If you're going to put really crappy food in your body, let's say you go out to McDonald's just before, or you go to In-N-Out just before, and you just pound a double and some fries and a shake, I guarantee you, you're probably going to need to nap for at least 2 hours before you get out and run, and you're very likely not going to run well. Put the right fuels in your body. There's tons of resources on the internet out there. I'm sure you'll find something that's going to really work with you and your lifestyle. But the point of this was just put better food in your body. Your fruits, your vegetables, your lean proteins, your good starchy carbs. Here's another no-brainer. Drink lots of water. Duh, you're sweating, you're putting stuff out of your body. You need to rehydrate. You need to put stuff back in your body so that you can perform well. If you're super sore, water's gonna help get the soreness out. Don't quote me on the science of it, I just know it works. Multivitamins. Here's the thing, no matter how much food you put in your body, no matter how much good food you put in your body, you're never gonna get enough nutrition from your food. So take your multivitamins. Centrum Silver if you're old. Flintstone chewables, they're crap, but they taste great and they get you actually taking your vitamins. Yes, I hear people will piss a whole lot of it out. It's better than not putting any of it in. So we can have an argument of like which multivitamins, which supplements are best for you, which supplements are good, which supplements are not. Point is just go out there and just get yourself a solid multivitamin that you're going to take, so that way you can perform better. Now here's the other thing too, the FDA doesn't regulate supplements. So a lot of supplement brands will put stuff on their label saying that they have all these different nutrients, but they're lying. It's been an ongoing conversation I've had with my clients for years. It's just find a reputable brand and get on it. That's it. You're probably wondering, what do I use? Damn, I didn't bring my stuff. The stuff I use is simple. I have a multivitamin stack that I take. It's a 30-day supply. It's a bunch of horse pills. It's a ton of good stuff. And I can tell you that I do feel better after taking it. And I know when I haven't been taking it. And there was a long time that I wasn't taking any multivitamins whatsoever. And though I didn't feel it, years later, I can definitely tell, looking back, probably wasn't performing my best and I probably wasn't feeling my best. My food was okay, but I can definitely tell now that I've been on a multivitamin program that I feel a lot better and I wasn't taking good care of myself back then. BCAA stack, branched chain amino acids. Now, if there was one thing I was really consistent was taking my BCAAs, mainly because the BCAA powders that I was taking tasted really good. There are a lot of brands out there that are really creative with their flavors, so there's no reason why you can't jump on a BCAA program. This helps you to recover and repair and be ready for the next day. So get on one. And the last thing that I'm on that I really recommend, it's called Martin's, M-A-U-R-T-E-N. It's a hydrogel electrolyte drink mix. I use this on race day, and I also use this when I'm actually training if I'm doing long runs. I've only been using it for the last 6 months, and I gotta say, this is probably one of the best products I've ever tried in terms of hydration gels and hydration drinks. I haven't cramped up during my races. I don't find myself fatiguing out during my runs. So I can definitely guarantee that if you get on this particular drink mix, you're actually going to love it. So check it out. I'll put the link to that below. But you can start doing the research for yourself and see if it's for you. Let's talk about gear. So this is going to be really brief. Gear is very subjective. It all depends on what it is that you need, how you train, and what you're looking for. So for the few years that I've been racing, I've been looking at different types of gear for my running style, my training style. And I've gone through a lot of different shoes, but I can tell you now that my favorite shoes, because you gotta have race shoes or trail racing shoes for these events. I'm a big fan of Innovate, INOV, the number 8 with a foot, I guess. They're a very reputable brand. They've been around for a long ass time, and they make a lot of really awesome shoes for a lot of different types of running. But my two that I'm a big fan of are the Talons, the X Talon 200. I've had these for a very long time. After my very first race, this was the shoe that I bought, and it's lasted me a long time. But I didn't know that these shoes were mainly designed for shorter races. Now you can do longer races with these and they're cool. They hold up really well, they're super durable, but they're a little bit on the stiffer side. Think of it as kind of a track shoe. You probably don't want to run long races in these, like the Beast or even the Super. But if you're just doing a few sprints or a few supers a year, this is a really good shoe to have. Oh gosh, this thing still has a lot of dirt in it. More recently, I got the Terra Cloud 250s. I love this shoe. This is a really awesome shoe. It's built the same as the X-Talon 200s, but it has a softer ride to it. So that means that the impact isn't as great, and you're gonna be able to last a lot longer and feel comfortable doing longer distances. So it's a great shoe to have. When it comes to clothes, just whatever's comfortable for you. My recommendation is always race in whatever you wear to train in. If you're good with t-shirt and shorts, just go with that. Compression socks, go with that. A hat, maybe not, I don't know. But clothes, it's all dependent on you. It could be a fashion thing for you, it could be a function thing. I don't know, and I don't care. Just don't race naked, it's gross. The next thing I'm gonna talk about is my training watch. I'm a big fan of the TomTom Spark Cardio Plus Music. This thing has all the features that you could ever ask for. It has your all your different sensors. It has a heart rate monitor on it. It can track your distance. It has your GPS. It has a built-in MP3 player. So awesome. Bluetooth. All you need is this and your wireless headphones, and you're good to go. You don't need to bring your phone with you. That's the #1 reason why I still use this watch. And I use this during races, so it takes a beating. If you can't even tell, but this thing still has mud and dirt all over it, and it's still good. I love it. The other thing that I'm really into using is my shades. So these are my Oakley Prisms. I forgot what model they are, but I use these during my races. They're super lightweight, they don't weigh my head down, and they stay on my face even when I'm doing stupid stuff. There are a few scratches on them, but they're still solid. It's a great pair of sunglasses to have. I don't always suggest wearing sunglasses during races because you're gonna lose them, but those hang on my face really well. So last but not least, let's talk about race day. You put in the time to prepare, you got your training on point, you got your nutrition on point, you figured out all your gear, and the last thing you want to do is throw it out the door because you didn't prepare the day of your race. So this little checklist that I have for you is something that I've stuck with since my first couple of Spartan races. And it all starts the day before, the night before. Pack a duffel bag with all the stuff that you need. So that includes extra pair of clothes, extra pair of clean underwear and socks, bring a pair of sandals, bring a towel, and bring a plastic bag. And the reason why is, once you finish racing, you don't want to just wear your gear, get in your car, and just drive home. You're going to track all that mud, all that dirt, all that crap that you probably don't want in your house. So bring a duffel bag with all those essentials, so that way after you're done with your race, you can go to the public outdoor shower area and just hose yourself off, clean off all your dirty gear, and then have something to change into, so that way when you get home, you're not tracking mud into the house like I've done a few times before. Yeah. I always suggest hosing everything off, right? Especially your racing shoes. So hose those off real good, so that way they're ready to go for your next race. And if you're doing back-to-back races like a Saturday, Sunday, like I did in January, I hosed off my shoes and then I brought them home and hung them out to dry so that I had them ready for the next day. You probably didn't think about this, but make sure to have a post-workout meal or drink ready to go immediately after your race. As soon as you finish a race, they often give you half a banana and some Fit Aid, which is cool for immediately after, but you need some more sustenance. And if you're not planning to go out and have a celebratory meal afterwards, it's always good to have a post-workout shake or a protein bar or something to put back in your body immediately afterwards. It's always good to have. Probably something that you didn't think about and probably have never heard about, but salt packets and mustard packets are a racer's best friend. The reason why is because if you do long races and you're prone to cramping, nothing's worse than to cramp up in the middle of a race and not have a way to relieve it. It's painful. So bring salt packets, bring mustard packets, and if you don't need it, maybe somebody else on the field is going to need it, and it's always good to share that kind of stuff. It's what makes this community so awesome. Let's talk about what you need to do a couple hours before the race. So 2 hours before the race, I always suggest eating something a little bit more solid, so that way you have enough time to digest and you have some fuel in your body. Right before the race, I always drink one of my hydration gels, those Morton things that I was talking about, I'll have like half of that. So that way I'm already ready to go for the first few miles. Make sure to arrive at least 90 minutes in advance. Spartan tells you that you need to be there an hour, at least an hour ahead, but what I found was that's not enough time. You gotta be there at least 90 minutes in advance. The reason why is because for some races, the parking for athletes is actually much further away from the starting line than you think. Sometimes it's way out of the way and then you actually have to get bussed in. Well, think about it. If you arrive exactly an hour in advance and it's a big race and there are plenty of buses, but it's like 30 minutes to wait for a bus and then it's another 10 minutes to get bussed in, that's 40 minutes that you've lost. You only have 20 minutes to check in, to get your gear checked in the VIP locker area, and maybe 5 minutes to warm up. That's not enough time. You want to give yourself at least 90 minutes to arrive at the parking area, get bussed in if you need to be bussed in, and then you need to register, check in, and then get your gear figured out and then warm up. So 90 minutes is my recommendation. Bring cash for parking. Speaking of parking, bring cash for parking, because if you're gonna park there and you're not gonna get dropped off, it's usually about 10 bucks, and I don't think they ever take cards. Most of the time they take only cash. So make sure to bring 10 bucks or 20 bucks cash, so that way you can pay for parking and not have to leave and go pull cash from an ATM somewhere and make yourself even more late. So just fair warning, bring cash for parking. Have your barcode or your email confirmation and your driver's license ready, so that way when you check in, they can check you in immediately so you can start focusing on warming up and getting prepared. Warm up, that's needless to say. You need to warm up and do all the things that you need to do, so that way you're prepared and ready to go, so that way you lower the risk of injury, because no one wants to be injured during a race. It's just not fun. And race on time. My very first race this year. I've already raced a few times, but this was the first year we've done age group specific races. So your age group is a specific heat. My heat was at 8 a.m. My racing partner, who's much older than me, hi Nasser, was at 8:30. So I was like, oh, I'll just run with Nasser. Well, I get to the starting line and come to find that I've been disqualified because I was supposed to race with the 8 o'clock heat. Yeah. And so I got automatically thrown into the open division, which is fine, whatever. But I still raced, at 8:15, 8:30. I just wouldn't have qualified to win anything. Not that I would have anyway. So race on time if you're in the competitive age group heat. Otherwise, if you decide that you don't want to race with that heat, you're going to be automatically thrown into the open division, which doesn't matter. You still get to race, and you still get your medal, you still get your t-shirt, and you still get to brag that you did Spartans. And finally, last but not least, the most important part about this whole community is make friends. I guarantee you're going to find people who are suffering and struggling alongside you, but there's something comforting knowing that other people are there with you struggling. And it's awesome because people are coming in from all over the world, or all over the country, or all over the county, or all over the state, all over the city, and they're all in it to win it. And they're all in it to have a good time. So it's a great community to be a part of. And I promise you, if you do enough races, you're going to see the same faces over and over and over. You're bound to make a friend or two. That's all I got for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I gave you enough information. If I didn't, make sure to leave a comment down below. If you like this video, make sure to like it, share with others. Hopefully they'll take some information from this and they'll be able to apply it too. But most importantly, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.